Can Oklahoma beat Alabama for a second time in the college football playoff tonight?
This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the second installment of Friday's edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. 4 more picks here in case you tuned in the first time. If you're tuning in for the first time to this show, we welcome you. All football picks, a couple on the college football playoff, and also 2 picks from the NFL. I'm Kevin Rogers. That is Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports, and we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network. Very exciting because we begin the college football playoff tonight in Norman, Oklahoma. Alabama and Oklahoma hooking up. The SEC will advance to the next round, so seeing which team it's going to be. Sooners a short favorite, and let's begin with our blowout special.
Oh boy, last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
We mentioned in the open, Oklahoma already has beaten Alabama once, so now we'll see if they could do it twice, and if Kalen DeBoer can win this game and make the committee think that, oh, maybe it wasn't bad to put Alabama in, even though a lot of people don't think so. But can the Crimson Tide overcome a bad performance in the SEC Championship against Georgia? Now it can hit the reset button against Oklahoma. Lee, what do you like with the Sooners and the Tide?
Well, you know what? I think the tide has turned. This is not the same Alabama team. I told everyone a couple weeks ago Georgia was going to win by double digits. Now, did I think they were going to hold Alabama to where they couldn't pass midfield until the fourth quarter? Absolutely not. But I thought they were going to dominate them, and they sure did. Now, there were some injuries on the Alabama side. They'll be getting another 4 or 5 guys back who either missed that game or went out during that game. But I have some doubts about Alabama. Some people will say, well, they turned the ball over too many times at home against Oklahoma. That's why they lost. I thought they were dominated. I thought Oklahoma's defense, second to none. They were absolutely in control of that game. They also playing this game at home. They have the best also special teams. So home team, better defense, better special teams, best kicker in the country here in Tate Sandell. I mean, this guy, this left-footed kicker is money inside of 65 yards. And Alabama, I think they've missed something like half their field goal attempts the last 3 or 4 games. On top of that, Ty Simpson, back problem, hasn't looked the same. And the offensive line has given up 10 sacks in the last 3 games here. Yeah, I like the Oklahoma Sooners here. I think this is going to be a blowout special to start our Friday show.
Yeah, and Oklahoma and Alabama, first time in the new expanded college football playoff because Alabama missed it last year, and Oklahoma struggled last year in the first season in the SEC, but they have come back to life, and we'll see if the Sooners can pull out the win and advance to the next round. So now we continue with the football, and we move on to the NFL for another blowout special.
Oh boy, last one out, turn off the lights. This one's a blowout.
It seemed like a few weeks ago the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were running away with the NFC South, and things have changed. They have lost 5 of 6. They are headed to Carolina. The Panthers at 7-7, so both teams now at 7-7. And Carolina had an opportunity to take a 1-game lead over Tampa Bay, but they lost on the road at New Orleans last week, up 10 in the second half. They lost in a walk-off field goal to the Saints, second time they lost to New Orleans this year. But with this blowout special, I'm laying the points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to lay the 3 with them on the road here. Tampa Bay, in spite of all their issues the last few weeks, they can still salvage this season. They have not played Carolina yet this year. They play them Sunday and then again in Week 18. So you get 2 shots at them. You win this game. Now you have the 1-game cushion, and you play them again at home coming up. And in between, the Buccaneers play the Dolphins, who have a lot of issues at the quarterback position. We'll see Quinn Ewers at quarterback probably in that game. Now, a couple other things. Carolina, they've been really good as a home underdog. They've been really good off of a loss. 5 straight wins off a loss this year. But at the same time, we look at some of those wins. They shocked the Rams as a double-digit underdog. They shocked Green Bay as a 2-touchdown underdog at Lambeau Field. And now you're just getting 3 points here. Everyone knows that Carolina can bounce back, but also Bryce Young's numbers have not been good this year. He had one great game against Atlanta, but otherwise he's throwing for 150 or 200 yards. But I want to also mention this, Lee, on Tampa Bay's side. So prior to the last 2 losses for Tampa Bay against New Orleans and Atlanta, 2 games they should have won, all right? In the Atlanta game, we know they threw away last Thursday night. Here are the previous 4 losses. Rams, Bills, Patriots, Lions. We know Detroit is on the fringe of the playoffs, but those other 3 teams, they're all playoff teams. These are all really good teams they lost to. And Tampa Bay, they have beaten a lot of teams that are not really playoff teams. I don't think Carolina's a playoff team. Carolina's improved. Tampa Bay's got to get this one. And I think laying 3 on the road, a lot of people will want to lean towards Carolina as the underdog here with all the trends going towards them. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm taking the better quarterback in Baker Mayfield. I think that they bounce back here. 0-6 against the spread the last 6. This is the one they get. I think they do. It's do or die for the Bucs. They lose, they're done. If they win, they could salvage their season. Let's lay the points of Tampa Bay here as our blowout special.
I love it. I'm looking a couple different sites, and you don't see this too often. Over 75% of the money, 2 different sites, is on the underdog Carolina Panthers. So don't fall for the trap. I think you figured it out.
Yeah, public underdog. I mean, it's not see the misconceptions. Everyone thinks, oh, there's a public favorite. There's still public underdogs out there. And again, Carolina's very improved, but I'm not buying into them. And they've had some good wins this year, but they've been very heavy dogs. I don't like taking teams as short dogs after winning as heavier dogs, because now there's not a lot of value in them in the spot. All right, we do have, Lee, still 2 more football games to get to, or two more football picks to get to. We have an NFL hidden gem, a prop in the Texans-Raiders game. Also, the Saturday lid lifter, as they call it, Texas A&M and Miami. Pretty good one there in College Station at Kyle Field. So we're going to talk about both of those. That is all straight ahead. And this is, again, a very busy edition of Locked On Bets here on a Friday. Let's talk now about FanDuel and NFL Sundays. They are moving fast. Only a couple weeks left in the season. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. And you have a lot of big games coming up in the NFL on Sunday, and what's really cool is you don't have to feel like you got to rush to place that bet at 12:59 Eastern or 4:04 Eastern right before the late games kick off. You can wait until these games start and go live betting. If you feel like you want to take a favorite, maybe wait for the underdog to score early, or go vice versa, let the favorite score early, get some value on the underdog. You can do that. Also, you can look at player props and see how these quarterbacks play in the first couple minutes. Also, there's bad weather games. You can kind of gauge that as well. The live betting really opens up your options, and that's what you could do at FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. We continue Locked On Bets here on a Friday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. Really quick reminder, in case you are tuning into this show for the first time and you missed the earlier show, we hit on college basketball for tonight, NHL, college football prop for James Madison and Oregon, and also NFL, the big game between Denver and Jacksonville. So if you want picks on those games, just check it out. Locked On Bets on YouTube and also on Spotify or Apple, the podcast version. You could find the earlier edition to get more picks. We're giving you 8 picks today, so we're really loading it up. All right, now let's take a look at the NFL. We have a nice hidden gem on a player prop between the Texans and the Raiders.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
Raiders, what a disaster they've been this season with Pete Carroll. They get blown out by the Eagles last week, and now they take on the Houston Texans, who have a lot to play for still. One game back of Jacksonville for first in the AFC South, and depending on what Jacksonville does against Denver, Houston could come out of nowhere, maybe win that division. But, Lee, you do like a player prop with Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud in this one against Las Vegas.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they play the over-under on touchdown passes or the number of yards. I'm going to take a different approach, and I think it's an easier winner. C.J. Stroud, 32 and a half pass attempts. So they've been throwing the ball early and often last couple of weeks. I think they want to go into this game and work on their running game. They know they can win this game here, want to develop the running game, want to get a lead, and what do they do if they're up? I mean, the line is like 2 touchdowns. If they're up double digits late in the game, 10, 14, 17, 20 points, they're going to run the ball. So I'm going to go under 32 and a half pass attempts here for C.J. Stroud, one of my strongest player props I've had in the NFL this year. So hint, hint, it's going to our clients also. Under C.J. Stroud, under 32 and a half pass attempts versus the hapless Las Vegas Raiders. That's my hidden gem.
All right. And the Raiders, man, they're just ready to get this thing done. Tom Brady's just stepping to be the coach at this point without Baz, but he'd be the quarterback. I mean, he could probably do a better job than anybody else suiting up a quarterback there for the Raiders. All right. Last one, Lee. The Texas A&M Miami game is so intriguing on so many levels. That is the first game coming up on Saturday in the college football playoff. And it's time now for the wrong team favored.
What the
WTF.
Oh, it's hard to get excited about James Madison, Oregon, and Tulane Ole Miss on Saturday, but the first game, Texas A&M and Miami, big game for the Hurricanes. They got into the college football playoff. They deserve to be there. Ohio State's on deck for either of these teams. And you know what? This is what you got to do. You got to win at Kyle Field against a pretty good team in Texas A&M. And Lee, what do you like here with the Aggies and the Hurricanes?
All right, so these two teams played 2022 and 2023. I think it was Mario Cristobal's second game as a head coach. He went into that game with, get this name, you're going to go, wow, this has been a long time ago. It's only been 3 years. Tyler Van Dyke was the quarterback in that game. So they had a lot of problems in that game. They had a bunch of illegal procedures, I believe a bunch of delay of game penalties. Maybe the noise did affect them some, but that was a night game. This is going to be 11 a.m. Central start. Like the fact that Miami's played there before. Not many players on the team were on that team, but they played already at Florida State, and they were probably better off with Dick Van Dyke as their quarterback for that game. They turned the ball over one more time, if memory's correct, than A&M in that game, and only lost by 6. It was that close of a game. I do believe that both teams are much improved, but let's look at Texas A&M. SEC schedule, going into the Texas game, the opponents they had played in SEC play were 11-40. That's right, 11-40 was their SEC record. So they basically played the whole bottom half of the SEC before they played Texas and got blown out in that game in the second half. I think that Miami right now playing extremely good football. You got Carson Beck, national championship quarterback. He's played when he was with Georgia, at Texas, at Tennessee, and won this year at Florida State. Remember, they were up in that game 28-3 in hostile territory. Their best game of the year against Pitt, blowout city here. So they get takeaways, +9 in takeaways. A&M is -7 this year. And I do believe they're going to figure out by studying tapes and have a good game plan here for limiting Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed. Keep him in the pocket as much as possible. Make him throw the football, and he's not that deadly here. So I like Miami here, plus the points. You're getting 3 points. It's going to be my wrong team favored. My Miami Hurricanes pull off the upset and head to Big D, Big Dallas, to face Ohio State New Year's Eve rematch of the 2002 national championship game.
And by the way, too, you talked about all those bad teams or subpar teams that A&M faced. They should have lost to South Carolina, too. I mean, South Carolina totally threw away that game, and the Aggies rallied back, but still, South Carolina was in control and blew that game. So, yes, A&M's very good, but we'll see what Miami can do here going on the road, getting their opportunity here on Saturday afternoon. So, Lee, with that being said, college football playoff, underway this weekend, and we'll have obviously more games coming up towards New Year's, getting set for the second round. But what's going on with Paramount Sports now with the bowl season underway and NFL season hitting its stride down the stretch?
What you want to get our player props from today all the way through the Super Bowl, college football, all these bowl games, NFL. I mean, you got 3 weeks left of the regular season, playoffs and Super Bowl, $297. Been red hot there. You want to get our football package, college football and the NFL through the Super Bowl. Just lowered that price to $497. Or from now through December 31st, 2 full weeks of action, 26, 27 bowl games, 2 weeks of college football playoffs, 2 weeks of the NFL. Normally $397. Use coupon code SAVE100 at checkout. Just $297. And the hockey one-day sale, everything through the Stanley Cup final in June 2026, $497. But that's not available on the website. Got to call the office, 800-400-9741. So keep in mind, ParamountSports.com. I also have a bunch more videos. We rotate in and out there of all the different big college football bowl games. So ParamountSports.com. Or remember the number. You want to win. What are you waiting for? 800-400-9741.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets. And you can find both the shows on there from Friday, also the podcast version on Spotify or Apple. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. Best of luck with your bets this weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday for another edition of Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.